What are some of the ways to legally search a trunk? Hey guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero, bringing you the Roadside Chat. This question comes from an officer in California. The officer says, can you make a video on the different ways to get in a trunk besides inventory? I work for the LA County Sheriff's Department, and it would be a great tool to know more about how to get into trunks legally. Okay, well, besides an inventory, there are 4 ways to get into trunks. Number 1 is consent, right? Consent is simply free and voluntary choice. That's what it means, right? It's just uncoerced. Another thing about consent is that you have to comply with any limitations that they give you. The person can say, yeah, you can search my car, but not my trunk. But if they don't say, don't search my trunk, generally, you can search the trunk, right? The next one is probable cause. If you have probable cause, you can search anywhere you reasonably believe the evidence may be found. So, for example, you're looking, if you have probable cause for drugs, obviously the trunk is fair game. If you have probable cause for a stolen lawnmower, can it fit in the trunk? Maybe, maybe not, right? The next one is evidence-related searches. This one actually may throw some of you off. Did you know that Arizona versus Gant is often viewed as a negative case for law enforcement? And it is, because it got rid of the kind of automatic search incident to arrest of a motor vehicle, just because in the old days before Gant, if somebody was arrested from a motor vehicle, even if that vehicle wasn't going to be towed, cops could search it anyway simply because they were in it, before they were arrested. Now, it cannot be searched instant to arrest unless the person is under arrest, unrestrained, near the vehicle at the time you sweep it, right? That's almost never going to happen. It's very, very rare. But Gant also gave us a new type of evidence search. What the court said is that police are allowed to search for offense-related evidence from an occupant of a vehicle, right? What are we talking about here? So if you arrest a person from a vehicle, let's say that they're for DUI, and let's say the spouse is the passenger, and he or she is not intoxicated, so they're going to drive the car away. Can you still search the car for evidence of the DUI? The answer is yes, if you can articulate reasons to believe that offense-related evidence is inside the vehicle, right? This is pretty easy usually, right? They tell you I had 2 beers at the bar, but they're clearly more than 2 beers to the wind. Where is this other alcohol, right? I mean, I know they're probably lying anyway, but take them at face value. If they said they only had 2 beers, then they're also telling you in a roundabout way that they have open containers. If they are DUI drugs, right, and you don't find any drugs on them, where's the means of ingestion, the pipes and the needles and so forth? Where are the narcotics? So that's Gant. That's actually pretty good. And finally, protective sweeps. But this one, we got to be careful. So we get the protective sweep doctrine from Michigan versus Long. But Michigan versus Long came out in the time where cars had separate keys to trunks. And it was very uncommon that you could open up the trunk from the vehicle passenger compartment. And the base of the court held that the protective sweep doctrine only applies to the passenger compartment, which seems to mean not the trunk. But the problem is that if you have reasons to believe that the person is armed and dangerous, and they could grab a weapon, not just out of the passenger compartment, but out of the trunk, then can you secure that weapon and to be safe? And I think the answer is yes, but you have to articulate it. And what I'm thinking of is this, right? Number 1 is modern cars have very easy mechanisms to open up the trunk. They have buttons to open up the trunk. They have, they have levers inside the vehicle. I mean, vehicles just by default, they just come with very easy ways to get into the trunk. Articulate that. The next thing is, we have court cases that have held that cops are allowed to look into locked containers if they believe that the occupant could get in there and use a weapon against the police, right? Let's say they return to the vehicle and then they have access to that locked container. Why shouldn't that locked container logic apply to trunks. I don't have any cases, surprisingly. Well, back up. I do have one case, right? I have one case where the cop saw a furtive movement from front passenger to rear passenger and did a protective sweep of the passenger compartment. The rear seat had one of those pass-throughs, right? Like a Honda Accord, like for the skis. And the cop looked back there into the trunk and saw the weapon. The court upheld it. So I do have those kind of cases. So just if you're going to look into a trunk under a protective sweep, you do need to articulate some kind of viable access to the trunk. Fold down seats, push, but they can break away, push the trunk open, get into the trunk, those type of things. All right. All right. I hope this helps. So in a nutshell, we have consent, probable cause, evidence-related searches, protective sweeps, in addition to inventories. I hope you liked the video. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I hope this video has helped you get it right every single time.